Thanks for tapping in. This is I Am the Culture TV, back with another banger upload. If you're here for real stories, real history, and real culture, you're in the right place. Sit back, lock in, and enjoy. Fame is often sold as the ultimate reward. Money, attention, influence, and admiration. But what people don't talk about is the cost. The pressure to perform, the loss of privacy, the constant expectations. And for some artists, success doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like a cage. These are artists who reached the highest levels of fame and chose something else. Not because they failed, but because they listened to themselves. Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was at the peak of comedy when he made a decision that shocked the world. At the height of his success, with millions on the table, he walked away. Not because he couldn't continue, but because something didn't feel right. Dave later explained that the pressure, creative control, and direction of his work conflicted with his values. His choice redefined what success looked like. He showed that walking away can be an act of strength, not weakness. And when he returned years later, it was on his own terms.
Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
I wasn't walking away from the money. I was walking away from the circumstances with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14. I've heard the stories, seen these kinds of things play out in front of me. I mean, you see before, look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah. Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time of their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah.
It's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress because, when you're a guy that generates money,
Yeah.
people have a vested interest in control.
Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill didn't disappear because she lost relevance. She stepped back because the spotlight became heavier than the art. After creating one of the most influential albums in music history, Lauryn became a symbol of authenticity, vulnerability, and creative excellence. But fame came with invasive attention, industry pressure, and expectations that didn't leave room for humanity. Lauryn spoke openly about protecting her peace, her family, and her spirit. Her absence was never about talent, it was about boundaries. Lauryn Hill showed the world that sometimes preserving your soul matters more than preserving your position.
In order to be used by God, you have to really be used. We always want to be used for the glorious jobs. Let God put me on the stage in front of the people in the Grammy show with a nice dress on. Let me just praise your name. But that's not being used. Sometimes in order to be used, you also have to be humiliated. You have to be humiliated sometimes. You have to be kicked and beaten. And in that situation, the person who's kicking and beating, he's feeling more pain than you are. Love is an incredible thing, and we don't know love like we should. We always talk about, I have unconditional love. Unconditional love is, we don't even know it, because if a person stops stimulating us, we stop loving them. You're not interesting to talk to anymore. Goodbye. But that real love, that love that sometimes is difficult to have, that's that love. And that's a confidence builder.
Mos Def. Mos Def represented conscious creativity in an industry moving toward commercialization. His music blended activism, spirituality, and storytelling in a way that challenged listeners to think deeper. But as fame grew, Mos Def began questioning the system itself, contracts, politics, and the limits placed on artistic expression. He eventually stepped away from mainstream American entertainment, choosing a quieter life focused on personal growth and global perspective. Mos Def didn't walk away from music. He walked toward freedom. André 3000. André 3000 never chased the spotlight. The spotlight followed him. As one half of Outkast, he helped shape Southern hip-hop into a global force. But while the world wanted more albums, André chose reflection. He stepped away from traditional releases, explored acting, fashion, and spirituality, and prioritized inner peace over public demand. André didn't abandon creativity. He simply refused to be confined by expectations. His silence became part of his legacy, a reminder that artists are allowed to evolve beyond what fans request. Walking away from fame doesn't mean walking away from purpose. Sometimes it means choosing peace over pressure, choosing growth over expectations, choosing yourself when the world keeps asking for more. These artists reminded us that success isn't measured by visibility. It's measured by alignment. They showed us that protecting your spirit can matter more than protecting your status. In a culture that celebrates nonstop output, their silence became powerful. Their distance became intentional. And their absence taught us something most people never learn. You don't owe the world constant access to your soul. If this story resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on your own journey. Are you chasing what looks successful? Or what actually feels right? Thanks for rocking with I Am the Culture TV. If you enjoyed the content, make sure you smash that like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and share this video. More stories are on the way. I'll be back with another one.